I just turned 32, man, and 32 is a big year for me. Like, it's a significant year because, like, all the major people who had major influences on my life were 32 or around 32 when I met them. You know, my mom was 32 when she had me. All my mentors, for the most part, were 32, and they did everything. They taught me how to tie a tie. They taught me about my heritage. They even were the reason that I went to college, right? They did all that at 32, the same age that I am now. What have I done? I tell dick jokes to people who don't want to hear dick jokes all day. So I was like, man, you need to get into this, man. You need to really be a part of society and make the society better. The next protest you see, you join that protest. I was like, okay. That's a tall order living in Portland. Because Portland doesn't, nobody protests the same shit that everybody else does in the rest of the country. You know? Like, it's real weird. You try to join a movement here, and it's a mindfuck sometimes. Like, this is the only place I've ever been where you can be a pimp and a feminist ally at the same time. A pimp? Don't you ever call me a pimp. I am not one of those. If you want to call me anything, you call me freelance security. You understand? I'm not over these women. These are strong, independent women. They're over me. I just hold their money for them. I'm really a credit union if you think about it. So it's hard. But last summer, I found a protest. It was in my neighborhood. This group of people were protesting underneath all these tall trees. Real, real tall trees. And I was like, this is it. Here we go, Nathan. And this is my kind of protest. Like, in the shade, I could protest in the shade all day. You don't even ruin your shirt. This is fantastic. You get to work with markers and stuff. Turns out they were protesting some housing developers. They wanted to come after those trees because they were like 100-year-old trees or something. And they wanted to cut them down and put up another house. And those people didn't want that to happen. So they were protesting. Even a dude climbed up in a tree. So they actually legally couldn't cut the trees down. But everywhere else in the country, they were protesting people getting shot, right? So that's what I thought it was when I hurried over there. I was like, all right, guys, I'm here. Give me a name. Give me a name to put on a sign and hold up like we were friends since high school. He said, how about Dave? I was like, Dave? Well, he sounds like he was gone too soon. I feel a connection with Dave, right? He had people calling him Dave, not David. Like, that's a young person, man. I was like, oh, man, it feels like he's still here with us. And the guy running, he goes, oh, yeah, he is still here with us. He's hanging up in the tree right now. I was like, this is worse than I thought. Really? Is that how outrage culture works these days? You just have a protest before the crime scene is even cleaned up? Why don't you take him down so he can be with his family at the very least? And the dude looked at me and goes, oh, he's going to stay up there as long as it takes. And I was like, what kind of protest is this? And he looked at me confused. Then he looked up in the tree. Then he looked back at me. He goes, oh, you thought... Oh, no. Oh, no. No. No, these housing developers want to come and cut these trees down. We don't want that to happen. So Dave climbed up in the tree so they couldn't cut him down. I go, oh. And I slowly back away, and I go home. Because it got too weird for me. It got real weird. And it's not like I was against the trees, you know? I definitely wanted the trees to stay up. I read the Lorax. I get it. I'm all in. It's just that there was wooden furniture at all the houses surrounding the trees watching the whole thing. How could I protest in good conscience while that's going on, right? You know there was an Adirondack chair on like a bench or something like that. Like, this is some bullshit right here. You see this? For some 100-year-old trees. Fuck that. I was 200 years old. They still cut me down. They cut my mom down in front of me. I used to stand up straight and tall. Now I lean back like this, like I don't have any confidence. Somebody sits on my face every day. Terrible people who should never sit on anybody's face do it to me every day. That's how you write a wood joke. A wood joke with no dicks in it, just in case you're wondering how that's done.